Nelly woke up as another woman, and the man she loved was sitting beside her hospital bed, calling her by a name that was not hers. The room smelled like antiseptic and money. Glossy marble floors, gold-framed art, machines beeping softly. A suited man with cold eyes stood at the foot of the bed. And beside her, holding her hand, was Jesse, the man Nelly had loved silently for 2 years. "Leah," Jesse whispered, brushing her fingers with his thumb. "You scared me." Nelly tried to sit up. Her head throbbed. Her body felt wrong, lighter, softer. Her hands, manicured, pale, were not hers. "Where am I?" she croaked. The suited man stepped forward. "In a private suite at St. Grayson. You've been unconscious for 3 days." Nelly's eyes darted to the mirrored wall across the room. The face staring back at her was not Nelly's. It belonged to Leah Gray. And in that instant, Nelly understood something impossible had happened. 1 week earlier, Nelly had been the shadow no one noticed. For 10 years, she followed Leah everywhere. Same schools, same events, same city. A scholarship had placed her beside Leah at 18, not as a friend, but as an observer, and later as her assistant. Nelly learned things rich people never noticed. Which servant held real power? Who bowed too low? Who smiled too wide? Who the staff served first at every table? Power wasn't always loud. Sometimes it whispered, and Nelly listened. She also loved, quietly, desperately. She loved Jesse, Leah's perfect fiancé, the man Nelly had planned an entire proposal for. The hotel, the fireworks, the ring hidden in crystal ice. Leah never wanted Jesse, but her father did. "You will marry him," her father had said coldly, "or you will lose everything." And so the proposal night came. Nelly drove. Leah sat behind her, silent in the back seat. They never reached the hotel. A truck ran a red light. Metal folded like paper, and everything went black. 3 days later, Nelly woke up in luxury, in Leah's body. Leah did not wake up at all. Nelly's body lay in a coma. Nelly, now wearing Leah's face, was declared a miracle. The mansion welcomed her back. Servants bowed. Her father kissed her forehead for the first time in her life. And Jesse looked at her like she was the center of his universe. "Let's finish what we started," he whispered one night. And for one brief, dangerous moment, Nelly almost believed she'd been blessed, until the blessing began to bleed. Leah's father controlled everything. "You will finalize the Preston deal this week," he ordered over breakfast. "Jesse's family is stalling." Nelly nodded, obedient on the surface, calculating underneath. Jesse's charm vanished behind closed doors. "You embarrassed me at dinner," he snapped one night. "Smile when you're told." Nelly stared at him. The man she had worshipped now stood before her, voice sharp, eyes cutting. "I don't take orders," she said carefully. Jesse smirked. "You always have. Don't think a little accident will make me spare you if you disobey me." That night, Nelly cried alone, in a room the size of her childhood apartment. And she realized the luxury she had envied was a prison made of gold. 1 week later, Leah woke up, not in a mansion, on a small hospital bed. An uninterested nurse checked her vitals before calling her family. When her eyes opened again, she was still not in her home, but in a small 2-bedroom apartment with chipped paint and warmth she had never known. A woman sat beside her bed, eyes swollen from crying. "My baby," the woman whispered, clutching her hand. "You scared me." Leah didn't understand the words, but she felt something tight and unfamiliar in her chest. Love. Later that afternoon, a paper bag landed gently on her bed. "Warm lunch," the woman smiled. "I'll check on you again after work." No guards, no doctors in suits, no father, just a mother who packed food. And for the first time in her life, Leah felt safe. When the kind woman left, she stood up slowly, seeing her reflection for the first time in the bathroom mirror. Instead of her green eyes, Nelly's brown eyes stared back at her. 2 days later, Nelly and Leah met for the first time since the accident. Nelly arranged the meeting in a quiet cafe. Nelly arrived in Leah's body, dressed in tailored perfection. Leah arrived in Nelly's body, in borrowed clothes and sneakers. They studied each other like strangers. Leah spoke first, tilting her head slightly. "You look familiar." Nelly smiled tightly. She already knew. The whispers at the hospital, the scars, the timelines, the impossible math. "You don't remember me?" Nelly asked carefully. Leah shook her head, calm. "Should I?" Nelly stared at her for a long second, then said evenly, "In that case, you should also remember to pay back the money you borrowed from me." Leah's expression snapped instantly. Gone was the confusion. "That never happened. And even if it did, why would I borrow money from my own assistant?" Silence crashed between them. Nelly's breath caught. "So it wasn't a stranger in her body. It was Leah." Nelly leaned forward slowly. "So, what's your plan to switch back?" Leah folded her arms, completely unbothered. "There is no plan." Nelly's eyes narrowed. "What does that mean?" "It means," Leah said calmly, "I'm not interested in going back to that life. I've already started applying for jobs in this body." Nelly scoffed. "You can't be serious." Leah's voice softened, but her resolve hardened. "For the first time in my life, I wake up without fear. I eat without pressure. I walk without guards. I can look at the sky and actually see how beautiful it is. I'm at peace, Nelly." Nelly swallowed. "That life is yours. You can't just abandon it." Leah met her eyes. "Watch me." The table went quiet. Then Nelly spoke slowly. "What if I cancel the wedding?" Leah blinked. "What if I completely destroy the contract marriage? If I free you from him and from your father, Would you come back then? For a moment, Leah just stared at her. Then she laughed. Not politely, not softly. It was the first real, unrestrained laugh of her adult life. Do that first, and then we'll see. The Preston deal had collapsed for 3 years under Leah's father. Nelly cracked it in 3 days. She didn't meet the CEO. She met the man who controlled security at his private estate. A casual conversation turned into coffee. Coffee turned into a coincidental hallway collision with the CEO's assistant. A smile became a business card became a meeting. By Friday, the contract was signed. Leah's father stared at the documents in stunned silence, his hands trembling as he turned the pages. The door burst open. Jesse stormed in. "This deal was mine," he shouted. "You had no right." Nelly rose slowly from her chair. "The deal is secured," she said evenly. "You're no longer necessary." Jesse laughed once, sharp and disbelieving, then his face twisted. "You think you're powerful? You're nothing without me." The room went dead quiet. Directors froze, investors stared, even the air felt tense. Nelly didn't look at Jesse. She turned to Leah's father instead. "Give me one chance, one opportunity to prove I can run this company without him. If I fail, you can hand everything back to Jesse's family." His father hesitated. "And if you succeed?" he asked. "Then you sever every business tie with Jesse's family, including the marriage contract." Jesse lunged. In one violent motion, he slammed her against the wall, his hands gripping her shoulders hard enough to shake the frame behind her. "You don't get to ruin me," he snarled. Nelly didn't scream. She smiled. A small, quiet smile meant only for him. Before he could understand it, the directors rushed forward and tore him off her. Security dragged him backward as he shouted and struggled. And in that moment, watching the room turn against him, Jesse finally realized he had already lost. By sunset, the wedding was called off. That night, Nelly went to Leah. Not the mansion, the apartment. The same one she had come back to after work every day for 8 years. The door opened before she could knock twice. Nelly's mother stood there, warm, worried, tired in the way only mothers who love too deeply become. For a split second, instinct nearly betrayed her. Nelly almost collapsed into her arms, almost let herself be held. But she stopped herself just in time and blinked back the burn in her eyes. I'm looking for Nelly," she said softly. Her mother stepped aside immediately. "She's inside, dear." Leah froze when she saw her. Same face, same eyes, different soul. They didn't speak inside the apartment. They walked to a small cafe nearby in silence. Only when they sat across from each other did Nelly finally say it. "The deal is done. The wedding is off. Jesse is finished." Leah searched her face for a lie. She found none. Still, she leaned back slowly. "That doesn't change what I feel. I'm still not sure I want to go back." Nelly swallowed. "You won't be alone this time." Leah frowned. "What does that mean?" Nelly met her eyes steadily. "You'll have your loyal assistant by your side. Always." Leah studied her for a long moment. Then, quietly, she asked, "So how do we switch back?" Nelly's voice was calm. "How did we switch in the first place?" Understanding passed between them without another word. Fear, impact, chance, a controlled accident. They sat there in silence, the weight of what they had just agreed to pressing down on both of them. They met again at Leah's office, 85 floors above the city. The day had been mapped down to the minute, just like the day of the accident. Leave together, get in the car, drive toward the hotel. Nelly had even hired a truck driver. Same traffic light, same impact. Only this time, they would be ready. Padded helmets hidden beneath scarves, shoulder and knee guards beneath their clothes. Controlled chaos. One last signature lay on the desk. After this, they would leave. After this, everything would change. Leah exhaled shakily. I'm terrified of going back. I know we can't live like this forever, Nelly said quietly. Leah glanced over at Nelly. Are you sure this will work? Nelly nodded. Yes, I won't stop trying until it works. They stood, walked toward the elevator. The doors slid shut. The descent began. Then, the lights flickered once, twice, then died. The elevator jerked violently. Metal shrieked. The cables screamed. They were dropping. Leah screamed first. Nelly didn't think. She lunged, grabbing her. Instinct took over. They clung to each other, two women facing death in borrowed bodies. I'm scared, Leah sobbed. I know. I'm here, Nelly whispered. Tears streamed freely now. Hands gripped tight. Whispered prayers mixed with crying. The elevator hurtled downward, then slammed to a stop with a thunderous crash. Silence. Ringing ears. Shaking breath. Slowly, they opened their eyes and froze. The reflections in the broken metal doors were wrong. Or rather, they were right. Nelly's own face stared back at her. Leah's own face stared back at her. The switch had happened. The elevator doors finally groaned open, revealing the basement parking lot. No truck, no highway, no impact. Just fate, choosing differently. They stepped out slowly. Same women, different souls. New versions of their old selves. And this time, they walked away in the right bodies.